Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to take a closer look at the AI market, more importantly, ChatGPT, and how it can kind of destroy a market. We kind of saw it earlier this week with Chegg. Nick is here to explain a little bit more. Good morning, Nick. How's it going?
Hey, I'm good, Jose. This is a this is a dark segment, huh?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll pass it right your way so you can get us started here on the dark side of AI.
Yeah, for sure. This is one of the obvious reasons we should not go down this path of AI. At least not go down that path without being very careful. And it's coming to fruition here. So Chegg, which is one of the companies leading kind of this education technology movement, got absolutely clobbered. I guess maybe they kind of clobbered themselves to a certain extent because their CEO opened up their earnings conference call with this quote: "We believe that generative AI and large language models are going to affect society and business, both positively and negatively, at a faster pace than people are used to. Education is already being impacted, and over time, we believe that this will advantage Chegg. However, since March,
Uh-huh.
Chegg saw a significant spike in student interest in ChatGPT. They now believe it's having an impact on their customer growth rates." So interesting. The
Mhm.
stock, took like this huge double digit, what was it, like down 50% at one point on this earnings call. And it Chegg took down some of their peers with them. So like 2U is another education tech stock. Pearson,
Mhm.
another one, all took like a double digit percentage header, thanks to Chegg kind of putting themselves under the bus and dragging everybody else underneath it with them because of Chat GPT.
Yeah.
So Jose, this is maybe let's just discuss the question I have here at the end of the slide before continuing the discussion. This is what everyone's been worried about, right? Are white collar jobs going to be impacted by AI like Chat GPT? What other industries are going to take a hit because of this AI movement?
Discover the world of semiconductors without getting lost in the technical jargon. My new membership offers a perfect balance for investors looking to understand this exciting market. Using my electrical engineering knowledge and experience, I will release weekly exclusive videos ranging from quick 5-minute 101s to in-depth analysis, covering not just popular chip stocks, but aiming to explore every public semiconductor. Plus, join a private community of like-minded investors. Finally, I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
I want to say, Nick, first, I think it's important how a company kind of goes with new technology. I don't think Chegg had um, had mentioned too much about their new step, and I see you have it here, Checkmate, which is going to be kind of them integrating it. I wish they would have had that probably a lot earlier, or maybe things would have been a little bit different. One of the companies that I know went down dramatically with this, or not as bad as Check, but was Duolingo. Duolingo helps with obviously learning a new language, and since I believe the beginning when ChatGPT kind of, and I don't think we've heard earnings from them, so we'll have to see how their move went and if it's the right direction. But since ChatGPT kind of came out, they've been working with them. And they've kind of created a Duolingo Max, I believe it's called, where you can kind of use AI to help you have a conversation in a selected language and actually be more responsive on your answer on why you made a mistake and how to fix your answer. So I think that's a great move. And when I looked at that, I'm like, hey, this looks pretty interesting. I almost even got a subscription, but I saw it was only for certain languages that you can do it. I think it was only for like more language that are follow like the traditional U.S. Alphabet. So I think it was for like Spanish, for like English, and maybe for like French. But I was looking for something completely different. Once they enter that, I think I might grab a thing. But I think with ChatGPT and with large language models, we are still seeing how answers tend to be inaccurate at time. But if you are, let's say, Chegg, you could have kind of taken that as an advantage. Hey, ChatGPT might not always give you the best answer, but if we integrate it with our platform, we'll kind of have some boundaries or some guardrails that will make sure that whatever answer you get has a higher chance of being correct. And we do have a group of teams working out there that they do have, I think, professional help where they can review the answers and make sure that everything is correct within itself. So I think it all depends on how that technology company kind of embraces the new technology, and not as simple as just kind of adding the API and being like, ta-da, now you can use ChatGPT on our product, but actually making it better within your use case, just how we saw Duolingo do it. But like I mentioned, we don't know how Duolingo is going to do. I haven't seen I don't think they reported earnings yet, but I wonder if the direction they went might have been a better way opposed to how Chegg did it. Your thoughts, Nick?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the education market, the traditional education market at this point is probably going to be fine. It's like more the education technology market. You can think of them as almost like these online tutors, or maybe like these little online courses where you can get some sort of certification. It might be getting disrupted in the short term by this. Another one is, I think, software development itself. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang pointed this out in their last earnings call a couple months ago about basically what ChatGPT has revealed to the world is that maybe everybody can become a software developer simply by explaining in natural human language what you want a software product to look like. And some of these services are becoming powerful enough that they could actually crank out real code, software code that you can then implement in part of a software development project. So that's another industry that could be impacted by this. At least that's how it appears early on.
Yeah, Nick,
Yeah, go
now
ahead.
that you mentioned that, Amazon just really, I forget what was the name of their product, but they just released a product that's free if you are just a regular user. And in Amazon's, it's a IDE, and you kind of just type what you want your code to do. So it's like, hey, write me a quick function that gives me the summation of two numbers, and then with these two numbers do something else, and it gives you a complete code written for that. So it's pretty crazy. Obviously, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you were a software engineer, you might be able to optimize it for better kind of performance overall, and it doesn't kind of completely take out your job. But I've seen YouTube videos thanks to ChatGPT that people with no coding experience or very limited are building games out of in a few hours. So it's pretty crazy how, like you mentioned, how we've seen that maybe in the near future, if you really want to create some form of application, some form of game or something, or code something, these platforms can really help out with at least the initial steps.
And that's a fantastic point, because while there is probably going to be some short-term disruption, I think you're right, Jose. The longer-term opportunity is there for these businesses that put generative AI to work the right way. I know for myself personally, I've used it just to create financial equations. So like, Excel sometimes can be a pain if you want to like create like a new model, a new financial model, and you have to input all the equations. Chat GPT can save a lot of time by just telling it, like, this is what I want a table to calculate for me. And it'll do all that legwork for you. Um, I even had it create like a little mini app to create like a discounted cash flow calculator.
Nice.
It'll do that kind of stuff. That's awesome,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you make your living off of, like building Excel spreadsheets full of formulas, maybe you need to like up your skill set now because of this. And I think that's basically what Chegg said that they had to do to fight AI. They're embracing AI. So they started to realize that maybe our new subscribers are getting disrupted a bit by this. So they actually the CEO had a meeting with Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and what came out of that was Checkmate, like you mentioned, Jose, kind of like a tight integration of what Chegg already does, built on top of ChatGPT. And in the next slide here, there's a little screenshot of what that looks like. It kind of looks like ChatGPT,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can input things in there, and it's going to come back with an answer. It can be personalized. It can give like little customized tests. Like you said with Duolingo, maybe offer some coaching on why an answer was right or wrong to help the learner get some more insight than just like maybe what a straight static online course typically has looked like in the past. So pretty cool stuff. And then over time, this is what technology always does. It doesn't completely replace people, doesn't replace jobs, but it may augment them. So maybe instead of a teacher's time primarily spent building a course, maybe going forward, they're using this AI model, and along the way, the teacher, is there to add trust, to make sure that the information that's coming out of ChatGPT, basically in this case, is accurate, and to also kind of build a relationship there with the student, because I think human to human interaction is obviously still the preference at the end of the day. So uh, there may just be this like short term period where there's some disruption, and the workforce needs to kind of figure out where it fits into this new normal in the wake of AI.
Definitely, Nick. I mean, my brother, he is a teacher at a high school, and one thing that, because of generative AI, he's trying to figure out how to quickly make maybe a video out of his courses already, so to make his classes a little bit more interactive and more opposed to, hey, just reading a book. Now he can make a educational video following his course, and thanks to kind of all this generative AI artwork, kind of really showcase maybe a little bit more both eye pleasing and kind of continue to grab the attention of their students to learn. So it's pretty interesting how, if you are learning with it, you can kind of improve your job performance a little bit more.
Absolutely. It's a painful process, especially when we're forced to make change. But that doesn't mean the change is a bad thing. It just sometimes hurts on the front. And hopefully, the development of AI going forward, I think the bigger question mark here is the accuracy of the information, making sure that doesn't get out of hand. There needs to be those guardrails in place, which you talked about last week, right?
Yep, definitely, Nick. Before we close out this topic, Nick, any final thoughts you wanna, or questions you wanna hit?
uh, it hasn't been a good few years to be education tech stock owner. They were kind of facing a lot of challenges even before ChatGPT was a thing, uh, and I think it's probably a tough industry to be invested in right now. I think if we want an actionable takeaway from this, big tech continues to prove time and again that they are like the pick and shovel investments to own. And some of the companies that are kind of built atop those big tech platforms, it can be a real struggle.
Definitely, Nick. So thank you for that. I think this was another great segment. I know the viewers enjoy it. So thank you again, Nick, for joining us on this great episode.
Yeah, thanks, Jose.